A minute left. They were just doing some fan art a second ago, so I decided I wasn't worried about streaming that. Turn this down. Make sure I got everything right. Damn, it's got a 20-second delay on it. That's tough. Alright, well that's fine. Hopefully my audio's all balanced out right. Oh, wait a minute. I wonder if I can... Hey, that sounds like Five Nights at Freddy's. Let me go to Streamlabs, actually. Shit, it's here. Oh, this is the thing that they posted. The horror in our hearts thing. Left 4 Dead, Resident Evil.
What the? Never mind.
It's really crazy seeing where this game came from, to be honest.
Don't mind if I do. Ah, Jesus!
Ghostface is what originally got me started on this game. I think I tried it once before Ghostface, but yeah, I couldn't even friggin' find a lobby at the time.
Away from me, sir.
It's funny because I still get jump scared by Sadako too, which is kind of crazy. Because I literally play her so little, and then I'll play her, and then I'll just get fucking jump scared. This shit's funny.
You're dead.
60 million players. I wish it was 60 million, like, currently, like, all the time. That would be great. I think it's 1 million right now. I think they have 1 million active players across all consoles.
We are live. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. That trailer gets me so hyped.
So hyped.
It's
Oh my
really
goodness.
dope.
It's so good. And the jump scare at the end is necessary.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, hi, everybody around the world, and YouTube and Twitch and OpenRec. We're in Japanese. We're in Portuguese. We are in Spanish and, of course, English, because that's what we're capable of. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. This is DVD's official 8th anniversary celebration.
Yes, and
It
it's
is.
truly amazing to already know that we're on our 3rd live stream of the year, with only more to come. And we just have to say thank you on behalf of the entire Dead by Daylight team for 8 amazing years of support
Crazy.
from community worldwide.
Yep. So today we are going to be looking at everything that's coming over the coming year. We're going to be starting pretty soon after our little intro here with something that we already teased last few days ago, and that's Dungeons and Dragons coming to Dead by Daylight.
Dude,
So
people are
it's gonna be a full
sleeping on
chapter.
it. I mean,
We're
I
gonna
don't even
dive
know
into
anything
that,
about
and
it,
in fact,
but
after the show
it's
today,
gonna be good, I'm
that will be
sure.
playable on Steam on the PTB.
Yeah, I'm really looking
I
forward
can't
to
wait.
it. But
Please give
this
me some
wouldn't
good
be
Hunter's
a Dead by
perks.
Daylight anniversary live stream without a couple of surprises. So you're definitely going to want to stay for the full broadcast to see everything we've got to reveal today. But we've also got a live Q&A. So if you have any questions, please do make sure to drop them in your respective chats so we can answer as many as possible at the end of the stream. But let's go ahead and take a look at what our run of show is for today.
Yep, we've got a great one lined up. We're going to be joined by our buds, Steph and Justin, to walk you through our Year 9, which is a crazy number, Year 9 content and design
like a 30
roadmap.
minute delay.
And then after that, Senior Product Manager Derek is going to join us to talk about upcoming gameplay and quality of life improvements coming
I really
to the
wanna
game,
see
including
those,
one
yeah.
that you're not going to want to miss.
Yes,
It's
and
gonna be
then
an
we'll have
anti-slugging
Dave
thing,
and
I'm
Janik
sure
here
of
to
it.
reveal everything coming with the
I'm
latest
sure of
chapter
it.
for Dead by Daylight. Then we're going to have some updates about the other projects we've got in the world of DVD, that being the casting of Frank Stone by Supermassive and an unnamed multiplayer PvE game
Yeah, that's what
by Midwinter. Then we'll have Justin, a completely different
Everybody
Justin
forgot
than
about the
Eric
fact
talked
that
about.
the last
coming
year
in to break
anniversary, they
down
announced
this
2
year's
video games.
in-game shenanigans for the anniversary. And last, we'll have our Q&A, which, once again, drop your questions in the chat so we can answer as many as possible. And who knows, we might have some other little surprises.
And while you're dropping your questions, we thought we would drop some content on you. You like that?
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that.
Just made that up. Twitch drops are back. So if you've watched our streams
What are they this
before,
time?
we like to offer Twitch drops to our viewers, and today is no exception. So they're live right now, and you can get them by connecting your behavior account to your Twitch account. So there should be a
I should
QR
probably do that
code
right
you can
now,
see. There
actually.
should be links in the Twitch chat to jump over and get that hooked up if you're not already.
Yes, and if you're new to Twitch Drops with Dead by Daylight, all you need to know is that by watching any Dead by Daylight stream in the Twitch directory, you'll be accruing watch time, which will allow you to claim 3 of the Twitch Drops we have active today until May 28th. The first one, if you've already been with us since the start of our stream, you're already on your way to claiming, which is going to be
gotcha.
the Totem
banners,
in-game
okay.
badge. And then after this, if you watch any other Dead by Daylight stream, for 4 hours, you'll get the Crimson Hue in-game banner. And then lastly, for 8 years, 8 watching time,
Yep.
you'll be
8
able
years
to
of
get
watching
the
time?
Greenville,
Nah.
Welcome to Greenville in-game banner.
That's funny.
Yep. So enjoy those drops, but we mentioned surprises, and we've got one to kick the show off with. So the first of which is actually a new game.
Oh my God!
We-
What?
Yeah.
What the?
We've got a game that we haven't told anybody about yet. It's from the world of Dead by Daylight.
No, you
we're
saw-
gonna share it
you
with
said
right
last
now.
year,
It
the
features
7th
some
year.
familiar faces, and most importantly, it is super duper fun, and I think you'll be surprised. So let's take a look.
The 7th year anniversary, they announced 2 games. Claudette and Dwight. Okay. What the fog?
Well, you've done it
What?
now. Right? You just had to touch the first board game. Now, you and your friend
That's
are
funny.
trapped in our world, and danger is everywhere. But don't despair. Use your new magic abilities against the
That's
swarms of
clowning.
monsters that want you dead. Run, jump, and shoot to collect blood points to repair generators, increasing your powers along the way. Unlock the door to
That's
escape
outrageous.
together.
Kind of reminds me of Happy
Did you just
Wars.
die? It's not over yet. Use spells to keep your friend alive until they can revive you. Do you and your friend have what it takes to survive? Ponder this as you ask yourselves, what the fog?
Sounds like get the game for free. Oh, so it's just a free game. Wow. They're not even making any money on it. That's crazy.
Oh my God, that song is so earwormy. It's gonna get stuck in my head.
The game itself is like the guitar solo of video games.
Yeah, like I'm already gonna
That's
walk
funny.
away and just okay. But anyway,
I was kind of hoping
yes,
for
we saw that correctly. What the Fog is now available,
You
and
know,
it's not only that,
like a-
but it's free for
I don't
current
know.
behavior account holders and new subscribers. But we do have a limit of free keys, so you're gonna want to make sure that you make your behavior account after the stream, of course, or in another tab.
Okay,
Just
so
don't
low cost.
leave. But go ahead and grab that, claim it on your account, and if you're unable to, then you're able to get it on Steam, which is exclusively on Steam for $4.99 USD.
Yep.
That's not
And
bad.
as you might expect, with
Hooked
the
on You
drops,
cost more.
now a free game. A
Well,
lot of
Hooked on
people
You
watching the
was-
stream. There might be some load on our behavior login system, so if there is, bear with us. We will
Yeah,
get you in
yeah.
the door.
That's how
and
it was
don't worry,
last
you'll
year.
get the game. So as you might have been able to tell from that trailer, What the Fog, which is just the best title, is a 2-person co-op roguelite. The simple goal of surviving and escaping with each increasingly difficult level. So to do that, you go head-to-head with swarms of monsters and bosses, and as we mentioned, lots of heavy metal guitar.
Yes. So Eric and I got to play it
Reminds me of
before
Brutal
launch, and
Legends,
honestly, it
kinda.
was so crazy fun. Like, I had that song stuck in my head for weeks. But you need to make sure that you get your hands on it so that you can have fun, survive, and then get the fog out.
Nice. So that out of the way, see, you weren't expecting that. A lot of people are like, wait,
No.
what?
Surprises.
I was just surprised.
We're going to dive into the show. So we're going to hand things over to Stefan and Justin to talk about Dead by Daylight's Year 9 roadmap.
All right, let's see how this goes. I'm excited. Man, I'm wondering. I was kind of hoping the new game they announced was gonna be kind of like, I don't know, like still the realistic Dead by Daylight kind, just like with updated graphics and just like a different, I don't know, dude. Like, imagine Predator Hunting Grounds, except for you're playing the Huntress, you know what I mean, or a different killer, and but it's like PvE, right? So, you're playing like a campaign. Say maybe 1 to 2 chapters is about the Huntress, 1 to 2 is about Trapper, 1 to 2 is about Wraith, 1 to 2 chapters about Hillbilly. Kind of like that. A single player game, so that way it's not stealing their current player base.
Thank you for joining us. It's great to be back with you celebrating Dead by Daylight's 8th year anniversary. I'm Stéphane Beauchamp, head of production.
And I am Justin Brown, product director. Really
Hey, we
excited
got
to
the
be
same last
here
name.
with you today to talk a little bit about Dead by Daylight's Year 9 roadmap.
I'm going to take a second here at the top of the show to give a big shout out to our absolutely phenomenal team that's working on the game day in, day out. They are the reason we are here with you today and celebrate 8 amazing years of Dead by Daylight. Before going any further, I just want to address something that's probably going to get talked about quite a bit in the chats across the different channels. We know since the last update, there's been a rubber banding issue that's been plaguing the game. The team has been working extremely hard at it over the last few weeks.
It's been way less
We have
bad.
a tentative fix that the team has been working on that we're hoping to test on the PTB later today. If everything is successful with that, we will be deploying that fix to live, and hopefully it should improve the situation, but it's still to be confirmed, so keep up.
And it's the
keep an
PTB,
eye
so
on our
it'll
channels
be
for that. We'll keep you all
a
posted
month
about
out
this.
before it hits live, basically
Moving
3 weeks.
into the future a little bit. The coming year for Dead by Daylight is going to be huge, and that's saying something coming off of our biggest year to date. Since the last anniversary, we have released amazing licensed content such as Alien, Chucky, Alan Wake, and a personal favorite of mine, Nick Cage.
Yeah,
Such
yeah.
an amazing addition.
I
to
always
the game.
loved Nick.
On top of that, we've also released our most popular original chapter to date, All Things Wicked.
Of course,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
can't
yeah.
forget we did the Halloween event, which was bigger and better than ever with the introduction of the Void.
It was.
This year, we introduced the concept of modifiers in Dead by Daylight, starting in February. Lights Out. We followed it with My Little Oni, and soon, later this week, we'll introduce Chaos Shuffle, the third one. We took a few steps towards improving the player experience between anti-face camp, blood web UX improvements, the killer FOV
They've done a good
slider,
job.
Survivor DC bots, and
Honestly.
even the search bar. So there's a lot there. And finally, we've taken a few big steps towards increasing our transparency, our communication with regular live streams on each of our content releases.
I really like these live streams too.
Enough talking
Oh,
about
there's the
that.
Huntress up there.
Let's dive into the future and what's really coming up for this year. We're happy to announce today that we have 6 new chapters currently in the works, and 2 of those chapters will be survivor-only chapters for this year.
Oh.
On top of that, we'll have the usual 4 new tomes that are going to be coming out spread throughout the year. As we've talked a little bit and teased even earlier last week, the first chapter that's going to be coming out is Dungeons and Dragons, and we're actually going to deep
Celebrity
dive that in a
Survivors?
soon-to-come segment shortly after this one, and it really promises to bring great gameplay and new characters to the world of Dead by Daylight.
Of course, we're going to follow that with a licensed survivor, a character who truly embodies the meaning of that word. After that, an iconic killer survivor duel will be coming into the fog, and if you stick around to the end of the show, you're going to get a little preview as to what that will
Castlevania.
be. We'll finish off 2024 with an original killer and survivor chapter, and we'll finish off the Year 9 roadmap
Okay.
with a licensed killer-only chapter, followed by an original survivor-only.
It's a lot of stuff coming up. Moving a bit
So
away from our
2024, the
content
last one's
roadmap,
gonna be original, okay.
we're going to take a closer look at the 4 pillars out of which the year will be based on. For those of you who have been with us for a long time, you'll see that there's consistency throughout the years with the 4 pillars that we're focusing on, but we're really adjusting the contents of each so that we're working on the features that have the most value and the most interest to all of our players in ways where we can expand the game further and further.
course, and we're going to start off
I
with
would
the trust and security pillar. Firstly, we're thrilled with the response to our regular broadcasts, and we're really happy to let you know you can fully expect more to come as we progress throughout the year, accompanying all of our major releases. Security is a topic we rarely talk about publicly, for good reason. But one thing I will inform you all of is last year we set out to start tackling this AFK bots problem that we see, especially in some regions of the game.
Yeah, I hear that's a
Phase
huge
1
problem
had very
in like
promising
Japan
results,
and stuff
and we're
like that.
certainly going to be taking that forward
East.
another step into Phase 2 in the coming year.
AFK.
Our next two pillars,
auto DC
live
for,
balance and quality of life,
killers?
we won't discuss too much. Of course, you can expect regular live balance updates throughout the year and
Yeah.
new quality of life. But my friend and colleague Derek will be coming up in the gameplay improvement segment to cover more on that topic, including an announcement on one of the most highly requested features ever in Dead by Daylight.
Cross
This one's gonna be
progression.
really, really exciting. Stay tuned for that because that is really something interesting coming up. Last but not least, our fourth pillar, events evolution. Events have always been a fundamental part of the game, especially the seasonal events.
Especially
And
the
this is
live
something we're going to
games.
keep pushing forward over the coming years. With this year, we're starting to do a bit of a split where we're going to have our events happening on a separate matchmaking queue, which essentially means that at any time there's an event ongoing, you can decide to still play normal Dead by Daylight if that's what you're looking for,
yeah.
but you can also go into the event-specific queue and play some of that gameplay. This is really going to allow us to push gameplay further and further away from the typical way Dead by Daylight normally works, and it's going to be a very interesting way for us to approach events in a different way. On top of that, we can also expect more modifiers to make it in the game, whether it's the one we've talked about just before, that are going to be revisited throughout the year, or introducing new modifiers.
Next,
that
My
are,
Little Anni has to be
either
Huntress.
tweaks on something or
It's
something
gotta be My Little
completely
Hunty.
different. But modifiers is just a little sliver of what we're planning to do this year, and I think we have something a little bigger that might be coming up.
Absolutely, and that's why I'm so happy to be here and let you guys know that for the first time ever, this summer, Dead by Daylight will have a new mode, not modifier, but a mode coming to you all. We've been listening and hearing your feedback,
What is
and
it
I'm
gonna
really
be?
happy to let you know that this summer, replacing Scorching Barbecue will be the first ever time-limited 2v8 mode.
Oh
We'll be
no!
doing a full breakdown of what this
No!
means as we get closer to
2v8?
release.
I didn't think that would
For
happen,
now,
bro.
I'm going to thank my friend Stefan for joining
No
me. Invite my
way.
friend Matt to the couch to talk a little bit more about this. and
2v8
here's a
instead of the
snippet what's
Scorching
to come.
Barbecue. This is crazy. No, no. No, Bill. Oh, dude, this is awesome. Oh, wait. Stomping them out. Okay. Survivors get multiple lives? Dude. Billy, or no. Huntress and Plague are gonna be insane. Huntress and Plague. Oh, whoa, okay, wait. Oh, instead of hooking, okay. You stomp them out and it's like Pyramid Head's cages. Okay. Wow.
Boom. Thank you for joining us,
Wow.
Matt. Well, I know it's still early and everything is subject to change. I think it's going to be really fun to sort of let the community in on some of our plans for
That's
this upcoming
crazy,
2v8
dude. No
draft.
way.
Absolutely. Thanks, Justin. So yeah, 2v8 is coming to DBD.
I looked at Hoodie.
This is a new game mode, which is really cool. Other gameplay events that we've done before, so Lights Out, My Little
Modifiers.
Oni, soon Chaos Shuffle, these are what we're calling modifiers. And modifiers basically take a DBD match, change a few things, but ultimately you're still playing DBD. With this new game mode, 2v8, we're fundamentally changing the way that you play Dead by Daylight. In this particular case,
2v8.
there's 2 killers, 8 survivors,
No way.
and a bunch of new changes that we're going to get into very shortly. The focus with 2v8, we really wanted to hone in on what's exciting and fun and chaotic with DBD, and we're leaning more into a party mode kind of vibe rather than something that's super competitive.
Good.
It's also worth mentioning that the way that we're building this, it's an iterative process, right? And this is just the first iteration. So we'll be looking to add more content, more gameplay in the future based on community feedback.
Absolutely, and I'm super excited to see what
Dude.
everybody says about this mode when it comes out. So first, let's break down a few of the key changes that we know are going to be coming for 2v8 this summer. I mean, of course, there's still generators, there's still exit gates, there's just more of them. We've made 5 maps bigger to accommodate all of the action, all of the chaos. And we're also doing away with perks in this mode, instead introducing a new sort of 2v8 exclusive system called classes for survivors.
Okay.
That's right.
Classes?
Yeah, so when it comes to survivors, basically once you've chosen your character, you can select and equip a player class. And this class is effectively your power for the match, and it helps players identify what your role is within the team. So instead of mixing and matching perks, instead we really wanted to focus on a particular playstyle for this, and whether it's generator repair, healing,
I like this idea
looping,
better.
speed, that kind of thing.
I like this
That's
a lot
what
better.
we're really going for with these classes.
Of course,
Otherwise,
there's also
everybody would just
cowering in the
pick
corner, which is my own preferred
Gin rushing
playstyle
perks
for
and stuff like
Survivor,
that.
which is great. And it'll work a little differently for killers. You'll be able to choose from one of the 5 original killers, each with their
Okay.
own specific gameplay. Killers obviously have powers, so they don't have classes in this mode, but we will be introducing a new mechanic, which is a team power. For example, if you are the Wraith, when you cloak yourself, if your teammate is within a certain radius of you, they will also get the undetectable status effect, allowing you to coordinate a sort of
that's
team stealth
dope.
attack. Should make for some entertainment. The reason that we're focusing on the 5 original killers is just to make sure that this is as accessible as possible. They're all free, everybody can play them, everybody
Right,
can have
right.
fun. We want you to enjoy the content and give us your feedback. And in my
Right,
opinion,
right.
the best
Of
part
course,
of
it's
this
going to
whole
be limited
mode
at first.
is the 2. It's the first time ever that success and failure as a killer does not rely solely on your shoulders. You have a teammate to sort of benefit from, learn from, or even, blame when things go poorly. So working together is just going to make the match so much more fun, so much more efficient.
Absolutely. Lastly, it's worth
Okay.
mentioning that for this mode, we really wanted to keep the action pace and the momentum flowing. During our play tests, we found that the process of downing a survivor,
And
picking them
hooking
up,
'em.
carrying them to the hook, it really started to slow things down for this mode in particular. So we're doing away with hooks as well. There's no hooks in 2v8. Instead, once
like
the killer's
cage.
downs a survivor, they'll
Pyramid
be
Head's
able
cage.
to send them to a cage. This works very similar to Pyramid Head. It will teleport the survivor to another part of the map,
Yep.
away from the killers. And of course, this still counts as hook states. So once you've been
Yes.
hooked 3 times, you'll
So
be
it's
out
going
of
to
the
be
match.
Trapper, Wraith, Hillbilly,
And
Nurse.
as Justin said before, there will be
Doctor,
5 original killers coming to this iteration of
Huntress.
this game mode.
Who's it going to be?
But we will be looking to add more as we iterate on it and add more to
Right,
it.
right, yeah, it's going to be
Of
limited
course,
at
we'll
first.
also be improving the game as it goes along. So content will be coming in, as well as updates to classes and gameplay.
Awesome. Thank you so much for joining me, Matt.
That's
and
dope.
to all of you at home, if you want to learn more about 2v8,
I
please
want
join
Suave
us in our
Perspective
July live
next.
stream. We will hope you're looking forward to this year 9. For now, back to you, Eric and Dork.
Wow, dude, 2v8. Cause I thought that would be very complicated, so I didn't think they were gonna do that one first. I knew it was like a priority, but okay. So we've seen Huntress and Hillbilly, so I would assume it'll be Trapper, Huntress, Hillbilly. It probably won't be Nurse, because Nurse will be too strong. So probably, we know Wraith too, because he said Wraith. So Trapper, Wraith, Huntress, probably Hag, and Doctor. I don't know.
Oh my god, that roadmap.
Great segment, great beard, Stefan.
Right,
We're
right.
loving the wet beard in chat. But the real story, 2v8.
2v8, yes, I cannot wait to dodge hatchets and chainsaws at the same time.
I can't wait for our killers to finally have friends that they can play with.
Get some friends in the fog. Forge friendships in the fog.
But that was a great segment to watch. I loved the reactions in chat. I think the guys
Oh,
did a really
shit,
good job
dude.
of
I'm gonna be
explaining this
going
is the
crazy.
first
That's replacing
iteration,
the
and
barbecue.
there's going to be a lot of changes based on
a couple
community
months from
feedback.
now.
So that's why we're not just flipping a switch and making it permanent all of a sudden. You need to actually get the mode where we want it. But we're using the word mode, which means a lot. So pay attention.
Yeah.
And speaking of paying attention, the website. That's a transition that doesn't make any sense. But the website for What the Fog has been overwhelmed by demand, as predicted. People love that cute little game. So we're working on it. Stay tuned. Don't worry. We have lots and lots of keys for it. So just as soon as we're able to tell you it's back up,
I'll
we'll
just
give you a
buy it.
mention on the stream here
It's
or
only
in the chat.
$5.
Yeah. We definitely know you guys want to get your hands on it, but what we can do is tell you about something you can get your hands on today.
Yes, and so recently, I think it was December, we released 3 DLC packs. They're called Maddening
Oh, Endless
Darkness,
Hunt.
Old Wounds, and Macabre Tales. That was a way for players to get a big bunch of our older content all in 1 or 3 goes. And so we're actually going to be doing that again.
Yeah, so this pack is actually going to pick up exactly where the last one left off, which is going to be the Endless Hunt pack. And in this pack, you're going to get 9 playable characters, starting with Portrait of Murder, Roots of Dread, Forge in the Fog, and Tools of Torment.
so
and
excited for
along
this
with
year.
this pack is going to be all the additional outfits and DLC exclusive items. But of course, if you don't want to get the pack, they will be individually marked down in the in-game store, so you can get them there.
Yes, so that Endless Hunt pack is actually available right now. It is the best way, especially if you're a newer player to Dead by Daylight, to get a big bunch of great content. So that out of the way, we're going to keep the train rolling. Next up, we're going to be welcoming Derek, right where you're sitting. He's going to tell us all about gameplay improvements and quality of life improvements coming to Dead by Daylight.
I'm very curious to hear this.
A very big one that people have requested
Base
for
Kit Unbreakable.
ages. So let's talk to Derek.
I'm assuming. What they need to do is allow you to prioritize add-ons for killers and survivors. Select 1, 2, 3, and then
Back, everybody, and welcome
Bye,
Derek
Matt.
to our stream for the first time. Derek is from our product management team. He works with the dev team on creating all sorts of cool quality of life updates, gameplay updates, and he's here to tell you about some good ones today. Derek, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Gonna be even better after this segment when we hear what you get to say. So I already know what you've got to say, but I think people are gonna be excited to hear about it. The upcoming challenge system. This isn't something we've told people about. Why don't you tell them about it right now? How is it gonna benefit our players?
So we really wanted to deliver new in-game challenges to players and new ways for them to be constantly rewarded outside of just tomes and archives. So we're going to be introducing a new challenge
What a badass
system,
name,
which
Derek
is
Law.
a system of challenges, hence the name.
I am the
Perfect.
law.
That players are going to be able to complete completely passively. That means
Okay.
that players don't need to actively select the challenge that they want to complete, and they can complete multiple of them at the same time.
Oh.
Initially, we're going to start with daily challenges, weekly challenges, and event challenges. And later on, we want to expand those into other parts of the game as well. We think that this is going to be a great way for players to be constantly rewarded just for logging in and playing DBD. And it's going to be an amazing experience for everybody.
I think that's a really great addition. I think people
Oh,
in
is
the
that
community are
Vecna
gonna
in
really
the background
appreciate
on the
just
poster
being rewarded
or
for doing
picture
what they
frame?
already do, not having to go out and seek it, but just it's happening in the background at all times. That's really great. So another great thing that we're adding actually is how we talk to our players. That's the main job of my team, is talking and listening to our players. But we do it out in the world. We do it on
I
social
think
media.
it
We
is.
do it on
Back
TikTok
there,
and Twitter
that
and other
white
places.
picture, I think that's Vecna.
But in-game is obviously the best place to talk to people, and you've got some updates there.
Yeah, we're here to make the players' lives easier and your life easier as well. So we're going to be introducing a new inbox-based system that will help connect players with the news that you have to announce, including patch notes, announcements, rewards, and
Oh, so
a
you
lot
can read
more.
it all in game instead of
That
having to
way,
go to a different
players
website.
will see less pop-ups when they launched into the game, and they'll be able to get into their games quicker. And
So that
overall,
pop-up won't be
players
there.
will be able to
I
stay
kinda like
connected
that
with the world of
pop-up, though.
DBD and the news that you have to announce.
Yeah, and it gives us new tools, right? Like being able to tell people the patch notes in detail is
Yeah, that's
something we couldn't
100%
do before.
Vecna
and now
back
we
there.
can.
I just seen that.
So again, you don't have to go find it on the web, but you'll be able to get it in the game. Pop-ups, not pop-ups, but notifications for rewards as well is another great improvement. So really good work there by the team. But we're not done. Actually, this is something people are familiar with, the Finisher Mori system. We tested it out a while back in PTD, got a ton of great feedback from the community. The team took that
I'm
feedback,
concerned.
went back to the shop to tinker with it, and we've got the final version to tell people about now.
The finisher
Right.
Mori?
I love finisher Moris. I think
So
they're a
do
really
I.
amazing showcase for how deadly and gruesome our killers can be. But we also
Yes.
acknowledge that there was some room for improvement from the survivor's perspective. So like you said, we've taken the feedback, we've reiterated on it, and tried to land on what was the best player experience. So, in a coming update, finisher Moris are going to become a baseline feature for all killers in the game.
Yes!
That means that killers are going to have access to the killer finisher Moris.
What did the
by
survivors
default,
get?
But they're only going to be able to use them on the last remaining survivor. That way,
Okay,
if
okay.
the killer is able to successfully pull it off, we get an exciting conclusion to the match, and the survivors can
Okay.
feel that the game's ended in a fair way, and the
Right,
news
right.
went-
I
and the
like
match
that.
went smoothly,
It's just an
and it was a really
auto,
exciting
an
experience for
auto-
everybody. Mori offerings are also going to be updated to instead give bonus blood points, so that
Ah.
it'll be a more rewarding experience for killers if they're able to pull it off.
So the killer's going to want to land that at the
Mhm.
end.
Yes.
It happens at the end, like you said, so we're not killing the flow of the match. I think it's a really great balance from where we started.
I
the
don't
feedback
know.
that we got,
I
so
like
kudos
it,
to you on
but I
that.
like the idea of being
And
able
that's all we've
to
got
kill
from you
survivors
today.
one by
Unfortunately,
one.
you have to go, but
You still
the
got
show
Devour
is
Hope, though,
far
to
from
do
over.
that.
Next up, we're going to hear about the new chapter coming to Dead by Daylight. So stay tuned, everybody, and thank you, Derek, for your time.
What?
you for having me.
I thought survivors were gonna be getting something. I mean, they didn't say, but you know, I thought they were gonna be getting like I don't know, like maybe something to help with the slugging problem that they've been complaining about. That sounds just like Five Nights at Freddy's, bro. That sounds just like the Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare. I'm tweaking. That sounds just
I'm
like
already
that.
so excited for the challenges and the finisher, Maury.
I just want to
So
shout
am
out
I.
Derek for dropping so casually such a highly anticipated feature with cross progression.
Yes, cross progression
Oh, yeah,
is
yeah.
finally coming. Super excited. And it's another reason for you to make your behavior account. So not only will you be able to get what the
I
fog
wasn't
for
sure
free,
it
but you
was
also be prepping
ever
yourself for
gonna
cross
come.
progression. Which we know that's something, you know, you're once again going to have to
A
be
lot of people I
waiting
talk to are
get your hands on. But
not,
we can now talk
you know.
about merch, which you can get your hands on right now. So with the merch store, we've got the always popular mystery boxes coming back for this anniversary. And obviously because of the name, I can't tell you what's in the box. Maybe I'll try, you know. But anyway, in the boxes, you're going to see 4 very exclusive DBD items specifically for this release. It's also going to include an art print where some of them are actually signed by
I just
our
realized that's
creative
Susie's
director, Dave
Lethal
Bouchard.
Kitten
Which is
sweater.
pretty amazing. I had Dave sign my chest backstage. I won't
Oh.
be sharing that to save you all, but he's got a great signature, one of the best. It's a really cool piece too. If you haven't gotten a mystery box in the past, it's always just a fun unboxing.
Yeah, last one was
process. So
Sadako.
follow the QR code on screen, scan it, and go get it. But we also have an update to the DBD board game.
Oh, yeah, you're
Oh yeah. Oh,
right.
I
There is
seen
going to
that,
be
I
an
seen that.
expansion pack for
Accidentally
the
paused that.
Dead by Daylight, the board game. And this is going to be called the Malicious Expansion. This comes with 3 new
Yeah.
killers, the Artist, the Dredge, and the Knight, and 4 new survivors.
I wanna get that
Michaela,
board game.
Jonah, Hattie, and Vittorio. It's also going to come with 2 new maps,
It's,
which
like,
is going to be
sold
the
out
Garden
right
of
now.
Joy and the Forsaken Boneyard.
That's super exciting, and I'm so happy to see the success of the board game. I'm such a tabletop nerd that it's just such good quality, and I'm glad that people are resonating with it. So shout out to level99games.com, which is where you want to go to pre-order it. You'll get it later this summer. Obviously, the DBD merch shop as well is available. You can open it up on your phone with that QR code. You can go to another tab and get some shiny stuff.
Yes, it'll be really
didn't
nice,
see it on the
especially like
main
you said in the
website.
summer. You know, play it outside, touch some grass at the same time. So,
I
other
don't
than
think so.
that, if you have any questions about the content we've been dropping so far, 'cause it's been a lot of content, we will have our live Q&A segment at the end of the stream. So make sure you're dropping your questions into the chat. But other than that, roll initiative, 'cause it's time to talk about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes. Let's see it.
Misguided.
That's Jake. That's Jake Park right there, right?
First, there were many. And now,
Oh shit.
few.
Oh.
Little
Wait. Who is that? Those are survivors, aren't they?
to take a single insect
Oh, an elf survivor. What?
sanctum. I'm afraid there will be no quick death.
No. Dude, an elf survivor?
This suffer.
This is crazy. Her outfit looks sick.
I shall draw out your ending as I see fit.
This looks fucking sick.
For in dark
Oh, yep, that's
places
Vecna's hand.
such as this, one must keep themselves
Shit.
entertained.
No. Oh, S3 Yazar. Wow, that's crazy, dude. Elf Survivor. I was like, why do we not have like different
Hello,
species
friends.
of?
I'm
Oh, it's
Mathieu
Matt.
Gauthier. I'm head of partnerships for Behavior Digital, and I'm extremely happy to be joined here today by Sean from our friends at Wizard of the Coast, who is going to be with me talking about what we just saw. Hi, Sean.
Hey, Matthew. Great to see you.
Pleasure. We just saw the trailer here. I still have goosebumps. This is so amazing. Like I was saying earlier, I have inner child in me that's thrilled right now. I've been playing Dungeons and Dragons since I'm 10 years old, and
Right.
it's an absolute dream come true. So thank you so much for being a part of that.
Of course, yeah, my pleasure. I 10-year-old Sean wakes up every day realizing that he works at Wizards of the Coast, dream
Yeah.
job. So we're super aligned on that.
So Dungeons and Dragons is probably one of the biggest gateways that people have had to how to craft stories, how to design games, how to create experiences for
Right.
other people. We've seen it, of course, within the dev team. There's so many people who've got their first taste of designing games through Dungeons and Dragons. Have you seen this to be true with other developers that you've worked with?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I always say it's the easiest thing about my job is I never have to teach people what D&D is or what the brand is about, because when I'm working with the developer, I guarantee you the person that I'm talking to has played, and everybody on their team has played, or at the very least is like very aware of what the game is and what it entails. It makes my job very, very easy. I always joke around, D&D is kind of this like the building block or like the connective tissue between game designers. You can be at a gaming convention and you're talking to other developers, and if you have nothing else in common, just start talking about D&D.
It's true. It's kind of a common language. There's so many common references there. For me personally, like I said, it's a dream come true. I still play Dungeons and Dragons every week with my group of friends. I'm
Really?
the forever DM in that group, and I know that there are a couple of other people on my team who were absolutely thrilled to be a
I
part of
never
this.
played it.
What
I
made it
I don't know.
made sense
I
for
just never
Wizard
thought
of the
about it,
Coast to
really.
enter into this collaboration?
I play board games though.
That's a great question. I think that exploring horror is always something that's really, really interested us. Dungeons and Dragons has dipped its toes in horror before. We've got modules like Curse of Strahd. We've got a lot of different horror elements we've brought together in some of our monsters. Obviously, characters like Vecna have been super horror driven. So when the idea popped up on our radar, hey, what do you think about working together with Behavior on a Dead by Daylight module?
Absolutely.
Like the light turned on instantly. I don't think anybody was there were no question marks. It was mostly just exclamation points. It's like, how do we do this the best, right? Like, let's find the coolest character. Let's find the coolest setting. Let's really make this a true sort of celebration of D&D inside of Dead by Daylight, and make it a way that feels super native to that game.
Yeah, and you mentioned horror. I mean, I know a lot of people will probably think that their first thought when they think of Dungeons and Dragons is not necessarily horror, but there is quite a lot of potential for horror in there. I mean, it is a very flexible medium to tell stories, and horror stories are some of the stories that will provoke the most intense emotions and reactions in players. So for us, it made sense. Yes.
Yeah, I'm also slightly in the forever dungeon master box that you are. I try to inject a little bit of horror into all the campaigns that I run. I think that it's just a great tool to use to tell stories. If your players never get scared, right, you're probably doing something a little bit wrong.
True.
And like you mentioned, Dungeons and Dragons is just a really flexible system for telling stories. At the end of the day, the players and the dungeon masters, you're not fighting each other. You're just there telling a collaborative story about what happens. And horror is just a great tool to include in that box of storytelling. It's D&D hasn't always been, hey, we are a horror game, but the tools are there if you want to do it. And I think some of the best storytellers out there definitely implement those tools.
Yeah, there are many examples out there. Now, why Vecna? I mean, we've seen it in the trailer. He is an absolutely terrifying presence. I think that whether you're a survivor or a killer and you play with Vecna in that game, it's going to be a really, really intense experience. So tell me a little bit, why Vecna and why it makes sense?
For me, the main reason that Vecna was very clearly like on the top of the podium the entire time we were discussing potential killers is that Vecna has always had this horror movie monster
Yeah,
vibe
he
to
looks
him. I
like
mean,
one.
as a
He
lich,
looks
he's always had the ability
like
to. You can even
a
kill
horror
him and he
monster.
just pops back up and will come back. It might not be tomorrow.
Yeah.
Might be a couple of years in the future, but like Vecna's always going to come back. He just has this real inevitability to him, right? You know, it's and the thing about D&D is very quickly in a D&D setting, your party becomes a group of powerful adventurers, right? You're defeating all these other monsters that, you know, like dragons and stuff, and then Vecna shows up and you're like, oh, we need to run away. Vecna's here. Like he's such a scary, inevitable threat in the universe that even his earliest appearances were just items with his name on them, and everybody was wondering, oh, who's this guy Vecna that's got this eye and this hand, and it was just like whispers of this ancient evil that was so powerful you couldn't even print a stat block for him because he was just that strong.
Yeah, it's the terrifying presence that few talk about, but if you've heard about him, it's probably already too late. It's true that it's got that absolute flavor, and he has been part of the Dungeons and Dragons universe for almost 50 years now, right? He was there at the very, very beginning, like you said, as whispers, as just a note in there. But he does have a stat block, and reading it is all. It's not ridiculous, but it's so much power in those pages. Like, you understand that he is, like you said, inevitable, but also he is able to scare a party of level 15 adventurers who are technically almost unstoppable by that point, right?
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
It's always like I've lost quite a few player characters myself to Vecna, and you know, Eve of Ruin. We've got the new book coming out, and as soon as you see Vecna, Eve of Ruin, I was like, oh, looks like I'm gonna lose a couple more.
Yeah, but that's part of the fun. That's writing stories with your friends. So before we let Yannick and Dave take us through the details of how we implemented Vecna with the gameplay mechanics of Dead by Daylight, how we presented them to our players, I'm wondering if you have a message for the hardcore D&D fans out there who may not be familiar with Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, I do actually, and it's try this chapter out, even if you don't play it. Like, watch somebody stream it, because this chapter, it's a love letter to Dungeons and Dragons from a very passionate and very talented team of developers of Behavior. It was super obvious throughout the entire process that, you know, from the sound design work to the animations and the modeling, and like it's I can't stress enough how easy it made the approvals process on our end. That all of this work came in very obviously driven by an incredibly high level of passion for Dungeons and Dragons. If you are a D&D fan, there's really cool Easter eggs in the map. There's really cool Easter eggs all over the place. There's
I have
a ton
no
of
idea
a
any
ton
of those.
of love for
I
D&D.
never
in
mess
this
with
thing. And if you're a fan,
D&D.
there's something in here for you. I promise. Even if you don't think that horror is your thing, give it a try. It's super fun.
Thank you so much for the kind words. Seriously, it means the world to me. Now, I think we'll wrap this up for now. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us today in our anniversary, and I hopefully will see you in the fog.
I have you looking a little younger. I thought I just seen him like a few months ago, and he had like gray hair. Must have got a little touch up. Dude, an elf survivor. Wow.
Hey, hi, I'm not Dave. You're not
I'm
Janik.
not Janik.
No, we're quickly interrupting our D&D segment. There's a lot more. Stay tuned. Dave will be right where I am in just a second to give you an update on cross progression. So this is a live show. We're having a live TV moment as we speak. So apologies, you might have noticed, even though I was dressed the same. Our segment with Derek that was just before was pre-recorded. And in fact, we played the wrong one. So we want to give you more details on cross progression here. So that's what we're going to do. So take it away, Dork.
Yeah, so cross progression is hands down one of the most requested features every single stream, every single post.
Yeah.
You guys are wanting cross progression, and we're giving it to you later this summer. Players will need to own the base game on any platform that they're playing on and have a behavior account. I'm sure you heard me talking about cross progression with an account, and you're like, what is she talking about? Yeah, so make sure you have that, and you'll be able to use cross progression later this summer. We do understand that the website is currently down because so many people are trying to get to the website website and make their account. But we're working on it, and we'll have this to you shortly.
Yep, and just as a clarification,
So it's any
in case we
console,
have a
any
few
platform.
folks in chat that aren't aware, Dead by Daylight, this is cross progression for console and PC Dead by Daylight. We're not talking about Dead by Daylight mobile.
Right,
it's really its own
right.
experience if you've never played it. It's a different beast
Yep.
from the Dead by Daylight
Exactly.
core, as we call it internally. Awesome. So along with the Twitch drops and a chance to get What the Fog for free, players now have another reason for their behavior account and another reason to crash our website. So like we said, bear with us. The site will be brought back up and all this will happen. Regarding cross progression though, any exceptions about in how the system is going to work?
Well, while
License
every
killers.
platform will have cross progression, there will be a few exceptions to what can be shared between those platforms. But stay tuned. We'll have a full FAQ coming very soon so that you can go ahead and learn more about cross progression for Dead by Daylight.
It's going to
Yep.
be license killers.
And,
License killers not going
as
to transfer.
mentioned, now we're going to pass it to Dave and Janik for some great deep details on our Dungeons and Dragons chapter.
The casting of Frank Stuzzy. Bam 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 bam.
All right. Thank you, Dork, Eric, for this cross progression information, just to prove that we are live. So we're super excited today to be able to talk about the Dungeon and Dragon chapter. I am Dave, creative director on Dead by Daylight, and I'm joined by my good friend, Yannick.
Hello, Yannick Never, principal game designer on Dead by Daylight. Today I'll be talking about all the intricacy of the gameplay on this chapter. But first, a little mention. Dead by Daylight, 8 years, introducing Dungeon and
Crazy.
Dragon. It's a big milestone for us, but we're not the only one hitting a special milestone.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that Dungeon and Dragon turns 50 this year, and we are super proud and happy to be part of the celebration. We just want to say that maybe when we turn 50, we do something else with you, Wizard of the Coast, or maybe sooner.
We'll
Right,
probably
yeah.
be in retired home, but
Yeah,
we'll be glad to join the party.
Potentially.
So first, Dungeon and Dragon in Dead by Daylight. I have to be honest here. The first time you told me about what's going to be coming next, I was surprised because I'm a big horror fan. But when you think about horror, Dungeon and Dragon is not the first thing that comes to mind. But thinking about it more, I realized, no, wait, there's a lot of horror in Dungeon and Dragon.
Sure.
And Ravenloft
Right.
being my favorite module.
Choice.
So, like, you really specifically focus on certain element of the brand. So please tell us about those pillars.
Yeah, so when we start a chapter, we always have a sandbox created so that we stay, around some specific pillars, like you said. Of course, when we think Dungeons and Dragons, the first thing that comes to mind is a magical world, high fantasy, magical creatures, wizards, magic, all sort of things that don't necessarily fit exactly well into a horror setting. But because D&D
Okay.
is a world of imagination where we can create whatever we want, there's also a way to make it happen. So for us, the first
Right.
pillar was to make sure that we had a good juxtaposition with fantasy, so fully embracing that type of content, but make it horrific as well. And like you've seen in the trailer, having a character like Vecna made perfectly sense for that horror setting. The second pillar is creative role-playing. So in the image of Dungeon and Dragon, we wanted to make sure that players had a lot of agency, a lot of choices. So that goes from an amount of spells you can choose from in the power, which we'll talk about later, or even customization. So a way you can, kind of create your own character in some way. We just wanted to make sure that we had a lot of gameplay choices in the DBD trials. And the last pillar we worked with is chaos. So that's actually one of our main pillar in Dead by Daylight. But a lot of what happens in Dungeon and Dragon is based on randomness. You throw a dice, and with critical success, critical fails, and everything in between, you see the result and you adapt to it. So we wanted to recreate that feeling inside the Dead by Daylight trials as well.
Yeah, Dungeon Dragon is really about exploring a fantasy world, but also be thrilled about what's gonna be the monster you're gonna meet the next time you open a door.
So let's talk about that killer you'll meet the next time you open the door. So of course, Dungeons and Dragons has a lot of iconic monsters we could have chosen from, a lot of iconic villains as well. And with our friends at Wizard of the Coast, we've established that our next killer would be Vecna. Vecna is just a perfect fit for Dead by Daylight. He's a lich, so a powerful wizard that turned himself into undead to be able to continue his villainy. Is that even a word? Not sure. So
Villainy?
he
Yeah, I
wanted
think
to
so.
continue to do his horrible stuff for as
Villainous
long as he
behavior.
could. Vecna also has access to every spell in the books. So that was very interesting for us to create an interesting power. Of course, we also have a survivor in the chapter, so the Bard. A very interesting class. There's many class that we could have chosen from, but the Bard was really the one that fit the most into our horror setting. You know, for example, when we think about a class like the Paladin, you think of the ability to turn the undead, magical sword, big plated armors, and all of this doesn't fit really well into the world of Dead by Daylight. The Bard, with abilities like Bardic Inspiration, the ability to sing, to play musical instrument, to know lore, and even to insult the villain, is just so on brand that it was a perfect fit. So that's why we chose the Bard. As you've seen in the image and the trailer, we're doing something special with the Survivor. It's akin to what we've done with Legion. So
Male and female
through
version.
the cosmetic
Okay.
customization, you'll be able to choose between two specific characters inside the same Survivor. So you'll have the choice between Ice Tree, a female elf, or Beramar,
okay.
a human male. Yeah.
It's interesting, but when I was younger playing
Everybody's gonna
Dungeon
play the
Dragon,
female elf.
like in
We
my
already know this.
friends group, the Bard was not really a class that people tend to play.
True.
Compared especially to other class that you had, but throughout times, like there's been many change and iteration on the class, and has now become like such popular class to play. Really fun now, definitely, and has become kind of an emblem to Dungeon and Dragon as much as a Red Dragon now.
Absolutely.
Insult
Every
the killer,
party
what does that
nowadays
mean?
has a Bard. And we've also seen a lot of Bard love into other content that Dungeon and Dragon produce, like the movie, for example.
Yeah. So we have an undead wizard. We have a troubadour. Do we have a new map?
Absolutely. We're super proud to have a full chapter for the anniversary. And shocking no one, the map is a dungeon. Absolutely. So in the Borgo realm, we have a new map with a new building. So there is a top part set in the marvelous new lighting of the Borgo realm.
Looks awesome.
And you can find this isolated tower in the middle. You can go inside and go into an extensive dungeon underground, packed with surprises and Easter egg related to Dungeons and Dragons. The goal with this map is that we've imagined that Vecna, knowing about different realms and plane, now trapped into the realm of the entity, would find a place to make his own, his lair, and so that he can study where he is, the world, the entity, and potentially find a way to escape, maybe not.
So is it
We
part
are
indoors,
also
part
introducing
outdoors?
a new gameplay mechanic in this map called Passage. So these are basically doors, magical doors, which you can use to teleport from one area to the map to the next. And we think it's going to add a new interesting spice to
Really?
chases.
The map, the Easter egg. It's super fun. Like if you're a fan of Dungeon and Dragon, just exploring, you're gonna be thrilled to see all the small and the big one.
I hope
on the
it's
gameplay
indoor
side
and
now for
outdoor.
Vecna. So the way we tackle or approach the killer this time, interestingly, it comes from a game, so he has game mechanic that are pre-existent. So we look at all like stats block and try to come up with like the best spell that could be translated into game mechanic for us, and also make sure that these will be like thrilling and exciting to use. But then, so definitely he's a spellcaster, a very powerful one. So the goal was to make him feel as such in our game.
Fireball.
But like I was saying, magic, it's something that we have never really tackled, not
Inventorials.
that way before.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna
Something
say
we've
it's got
tried
potential
to
energy. It's kinda like
stay
magic.
away from. Like our powers are really visceral or like grounded as much as possible. It's something that do you want to talk about a bit? Magic.
Yeah, yes, please. I hope some of our team colleagues are laughing right now. I kind of have a bad rep internally about magic. It's almost a taboo word that we can't use. But now making a D&D chapter, for sure we had to embrace magic. And of course there is a space for magic in our games, but it has to be taken with the right tone. So in this case we're talking necromancy, blood magic, magic of the dead. And there's a touch of realism and visceralness that we wanted to add to magic versus something more flashy like a magic projectile or a fireball, for example. There's also something quite interesting out of Dungeons and Dragons, and these are the utility spells. They're spells that are not used to kill or damage, but they're used in very creative ways.
Oh, so like he's gonna cast a spell for haste?
Highlight that with the Lich, with Vecna. So that was
Something
our
like that,
approach.
cast a spell
Now,
for
do you want to talk to us about the spell that we actually chosen?
Sure. So you have access to 4 different type of spell.
Okay.
Pretty much any time they have their own individual cooldown. But so the first one is called Fly, a very popular, well-known Dungeons and Dragons spell in our game. It lifts up the killer, and you're pushed forward, obviously faster. So it's really like the traversal aspect of the power. It lasts for a short amount of time, and it's gonna also end if you vault a pallet or a vault location. And
almost like the
this is
Virulent Bound
really
from
useful
Wesker.
to get closer to Survivor and get to the next gen as soon as possible. The next one is called Flight of the Dam, which is not really a Dungeons and Dragons spell. It's more connected to Vecna. It's actually an ability that he has. What it does is that it casts 5 different individual projectile, and then it shoots them in a cone radius effect in front of him. These projectiles pass through obstacles. They don't go very far, but if they hit the survivor, they get damage instantly.
And they have a cooldown.
It might sound very powerful and easy to use, but it's not the case. Survivor have a lot of counter, but the spell can also be used to zone in this aspect, so you can also go for the basic M1 attack during that time.
He's not gonna be spamming
third spell is called Dispelling Sphere, which is actually it's a combination of different existing Dungeons and Dragons spell. We just felt it was more compelling to combine them into one spell. So what it does, you cast a large sphere in front of you, and that sphere moves slowly throughout the level. Survivor do not see that sphere, and if they get in contact with that sphere, they get revealed for a few seconds by Killer Instinct, and also have their magic items disabled for a minute.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool.
The last but not least spell is Mage Hand, very well known Dungeons and Dragons spell. What it does in Dead by Daylight, you as a killer, you can tag up a nearby pallet, and if the pallet is upward, it blocks the pallet for a few seconds. Cannot be interacted by Survivor, and if it's downward, it's lifted up for you, so you can fully pass without any obstacles.
Wow, that's
so
dope.
The idea with this killer, he has a lot of tools and tricks in his bag, and it's really about managing all the force spells, the cooldown.
Yeah, he's got a lot to him.
Try to
he's gonna be good, but I think he's gonna be pretty complicated.
So that's really how you're gonna.
And it depends. I wonder what the cooldowns are like on all of them.
Learning how to use them at the right time and be efficient with them.
So let's
he's gonna be really strong though.
Choices here.
Correct.
So you've mentioned very quickly during the Dispel Sphere the magical item.
Did I?
Yeah.
What's that?
Okay. So this is the new toy for Survivor. It's called magic items.
It's
but
gonna
keep
put
in
his
mind
power on
it's not
cooldown, I'm
actual
assuming.
items that
Because he's pretty
use.
strong right
so
now.
this time, if you face Vecna, you're gonna have Survivor gonna have 7 different chests that's gonna spawn throughout the level.
Kind of like
Survivor
Singularity.
Will interact with those chests, and while during the opening of the chest, there's gonna be a D20 dice roll. Yes, in Dungeons and Dragon, we couldn't do without the dice roll.
That's
so
funny.
this dice roll will determine the content of the chest. So if Survivor roll from 2 to 4, they get a basic Dead by Daylight brown item. So
better than nothing.
Yeah, well, maybe that brown medkit might save your life. I don't know. But the fun part is when you roll from 5 to 19, that's when you get the magic items. And the way it works is that each survivor has an equipment slot, 2 equipment slot. they have the bracers and the boots. So there's two type of magic
Equipment
items,
slots.
and each magic item is going to be randomly linked the first time you open the chest to one of the 4 Vecna spells. And once they are
it's going to be the
equipped,
counter.
each time the killer will cast the spell that is linked to one of your magic item, you're going to gain a passive bonus to help out, kind of
There's a
avoid the
lot
spell
going on
or
here.
help you out against Vecna
Wow.
in general. So to be more precise, so if you have bracers against the fly spell, you're going to see Vecna's aura during the traveling that while you use the spell.
That's not
If
terrible.
you have a boots, for example, against the Flight of the Dam, you see the aura of the projectile, very useful because the projectile goes through collision, and the best way to use that spell is through walls. If you have magic items against the Dispelling Sphere, survivors see the sphere, so they can juke and go around the sphere as much as they can. And if you have a counter against the Mage Hand, you see the aura of the hand
So I wonder if
on the
Dispelling
palette,
Sphere is
and
going to be
also
like...
gain a little
How long does it move throughout the map?
haste effect, so that help you out around the loop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's hear the
So
survivor
it's
first.
really important to search those chests.
Yeah, correct.
And killer
'cause,
perks, actually.
the way that we tackled this, like the balance in
There's
this
a
case
lot
is
going
that
on with this dude's
we made
power.
sure that the magic items do not trunker the killer's power. It's
Right.
made or balanced to face survivors who
singularity.
have them equipped. So if you don't get those, definitely the killer might feel a bit oppressive. So it's really up to survivor to get to those chests and equip them as soon as possible.
Great. And just to be clear, you can also equip a normal item with that. So you can have your flashlight, bracer, and boots.
Correct. It's a very different slot.
So everybody heard you talk about a lot of numbers here on the dice, but you've not mentioned the critical fail,
D20.
1, and critical success on the 20. For people that don't play D&D,
D1, you get sacrificed instantly.
events, the best event that can happen in Dungeons & Dragons when you get that critical fail or that critical success. So what happens in Dead by Daylight when that happens?
Yes, so we have critical roll in the game. If you roll a 1, you get, a big nothing. Although I've heard sometimes people get a green key. I guess
that's
lucky
that's
you.
better, yeah.
But I know what you get if you roll a 20. So anyone who's familiar with Vecna in the lore of Dungeons & Dragons, there are 2 very specific artifacts that exist that is called the Eye of Vecna and the Hand of Vecna, and we introduce them in our game. So you roll a 20, you get one of the 2. You never know. But these works more like a normal item, so you have to pick them up and use them once. It's called attune, so you merge with the items, and then you unlock a very powerful ability up to like perk level.
Okay.
Yes, it's very strong.
Really?
I guess you want to know.
But
what
please
it
do
is?
say.
Okay, sure. So if you attune with the Eye of Vecna, they use with lockers. So if you fast exit a locker, you're going to be unseen, unheard by the killer for 15 seconds. And on top of that, you gain a haste boost effect. And if you attune with the Hand of Vecna, you fast enter a locker and you're going to be teleported further down further locker.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
very powerful.
That's
I forgot the little details because they might sound super strong said like that, but they come with a cost. So to use them, you have to be full health. And once you use them, you instantly lose a health state. And also at the end of the effect, you get revealed by Counter Instinct. So be very mindful the way you use them because we've seen a lot of situations where it backfire at the survivor, and the killer has definitely a spell to help him out, get back at the survivor.
Right.
Because you can use flight to
it's
catch
very
up.
on brand with what a cursed item should be.
Indeed.
So thank you so much, Yannick. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff coming with Vecna.
Yeah, there's a lot that's going into this. It's kind of crazy.
No time today to talk about anything more about the killer perks or the survivor, but I have to say very quickly that the survivor perk will allow you to create illusions, to perform on the loot. You can even perform with other survivors to do the full melody. There's also a dice roll mechanic
it's like the
for
invocation.
one of the perk. So if you want more information after the show, you can go on our website, deadbydaylight.com, and get all of the details you need. Merci encore, Yannick, for all the information. And thank you so much to all of you. Happy anniversary. And I'll be passing it back to Eric and Dork.
Oh my God, Dungeons and Dragons and Dead by Daylight.
You are a pretty frequent DM yourself, right?
Yes, I do DM on occasion. Forever player, as they said in the interview. Well, no, forever DM.
Yeah.
Never a player. Please make me a player.
You must be so psyched.
So psyched. I'm so psyched. I'm so excited. I just cannot wait to see what we have in store and to go against Vecna.
Hopefully people have noticed your dice
Yeah,
necklace.
my nice D4. I got okay. But yes, just like Dave said, don't forget to head over to deadbydaylight.com right after the show for the full breakdown on Vecna and all of his powers. You'll also be able to see the perks that we've got for him and our bard coming into the fog.
And also, don't forget to ask questions in the chat when you're not spamming nonsense garbage. Ask real questions, and we'll answer them later in the Q&A. You don't need to say claim. Please stop saying claim. You're not claiming anything by saying claim. Stop.
But we appreciate your enthusiasm. But next, we're going to be,
That was
I'm
unnecessary
going
to
to be
say,
joined
really.
by Dave Richard back on the couch for him to walk us through the ever-expanding world of Dead by Daylight. Hey, I'm over here now. So I'm super excited for this part of the stream because not only do we get to talk about 2 upcoming projects within the world of Dead by Daylight, that being Supermassive's The Casting of Frank Stone, and an unnamed multiplayer PvE game by Midwinter, but we get to do it all with Dave Richard.
Oh, okay.
So, Dave, can you please tell me why we chose these games to be the right games for us to expand the world of Dead by Daylight?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of stuff going into that choice for sure. So first of all, we are super happy and grateful to have a community already there playing Dead by Daylight. So of course we listen to what they want to see, what they want to play. So that comes into the recipe of the choice we're going to make. We also want to make sure that we will create something new to experience, something that's completely out of what we are used to in Dead by Daylight. So that comes into the genre we want to create. Also, we want to interest new players into the world of Dead by Daylight. Some people that never heard of Dead by Daylight, but also some viewers that are interested about the world of DBD, but that don't play DBD because maybe it's not their style of game. So we want also these players to be with us and experience the world of Dead by Daylight.
And just like you were saying, with people being interested in the world of Dead by Daylight, as the creative director, why do you think there's so much interest in the lore of a multiplayer game that's based in action?
Well, it's been very important for us since day one when we started working on this project. The story and the narrative around everything we create. We want to make sure that every little component in DBD has a story and a reason to live in the universe. We take great care into making that happen. So, there's a lot of mysteries within mysteries, a lot of layers to our narrative, which I think are super interesting and players want to know more. So these games will allow us to discover these elements that we've seeded in the past. Like every killer and every survivor in Dead by Daylight could have their own movie or their own game, really.
Yeah, they've got so much lore. It's really amazing to just dive into. And speaking of lore, I mean, this is something we want to expand on with the world of Dead by Daylight. So we're doing that in one of our upcoming games, The Casting of Frank Stone. So can you tell us a bit more about that?
Right, I can tell you a little bit. Yes. So of course there's different type of stories in games, right? There's games that have a static narrative that you experience. That's great. There's also games that the narrative is made very organically by the players, like DBD is a good example of that. The Casting of Frankstone is somewhere in between, right? It's a game where there is multiple narrative, and based on the player choice, and different things will happen, and based on their choice, different endings and different branching in the story will happen. So the Casting of Frankstone is very interesting for us because it brings the origin of a killer and potentially survivors, and the players are able to play that for the first time. Some things that we are used to see as a lore or a bio or a tome entry in DBD now will be playable. It's still in the Entities universe. It's still very much part of the world of DBD, but it's going to be out of the trials. So that's going to be an interesting take on our universe.
Okay, so we know that the Casting Frankstone is still in that realm, but what about our other project, this unnamed multiplayer PvE game?
Okay.
Is that also going to be taking place in the Entities realm?
Absolutely. So it is in the world of DBD. It is in the Entity. And one cool thing about the Entity is that we know very little about exactly what it is, but we do know that it's a living universe. It is huge, and we can't really comprehend everything that's happening within it. So we know that DBD trials are a way for the Entity to feed.
Oh.
It's a very kind of organic process. So we can imagine that there are other parts in the Entity that serves other purposes. And that is exactly what we want to explore. So that allows us to create new narrative, new ways to experience a game, new gameplay opportunity, new set of rules. So these are things that we talked about in the past and that we always wanted to explore. So that's exactly what we want to do with this new Untitled game. So in a way, the world of DBD that we've created is like a book with infinite pages. We can add new stories to it forever, hopefully.
Just keep on reading.
Oh, yeah.
Well, you did talk about that, and is there any gameplay that we'll be able to see?
That we'll be able to see. Well, yeah, I think so.
All right. Well, thank you, Dave, for talking us through that. But now I want to see the gameplay. Let's see the gameplay.
Oh, okay. Okay, wow, these graphics are insane. Oh, it's real life. Oh, wow, that's crazy. I'm an idiot.
Hey everyone, I'm Audrey, lead producer at Midwinter Entertainment. Last year, we gave you a very small glimpse of a project we started working on set in the Dead by Daylight universe. I'm happy to say that we have more to share with you on this game codenamed Project T. Instead of showing you a close to final game with some polished gameplay, we wanted to let you in on the development process. Right now, Project T is a work in progress, more than a fully fledged game. Our goal is to craft an experience with all of you and create something that you would be eager to play. Let's hear more about Project T with our creative director.
Hey everyone. First I want to say what an honor it is to be working in the Dead by Daylight universe. We love DBD's multiplayer thrills, and its dark, mature setting brings just the right kind of tension and danger for a game like this. In Project T, you play as trespassers, rough and tumble characters who have been whisked away from their realities and trapped within the Entity's realm. There, in a vast region called the Backwater, they discover they must work together if they're to have any chance of survival. And of course, they're not alone. The Backwater is home to horrific monstrosities known as the Thrall. These terrors come in many forms and have different deadly abilities. Their origins and nature are unclear, but they certainly don't take kindly to trespassers within their domain. To achieve your objectives, you'll have to battle the Thrall with every weapon at your disposal.
The world of Project T is called the Backwater. It's a unique place, another twisted realm within the Entity's grasp. You'll be eager to explore this familiar yet ominous world, and it'll definitely give you the creeps.
Left 4 Dead.
To add even more tension to your experience, we're building the Backwater as an ever-changing landscape, which offers a lot of possibilities gameplay-wise. To navigate the Backwater, we're thinking of adding trucks in the game. Since it's a pretty big area, you would need a way to go from one point to another while escaping the hordes of Thrall. But there could be other uses for the truck. That's something we're thinking about. And we'd love to see what kind of ideas you might have. As DBD fans, we're having a lot of fun creating this new experience as part of the Dead by Daylight universe. DBD is all about horror, and we want to make sure we're crafting something that horror fans will appreciate, from the different biomes of the backwater to the look of the thrall.
That's right.
Project T is still in early development, but that doesn't mean you'll have to wait another year to get more news. We're looking to get your opinions and share information, so we're creating a platform called the Insider Program. This is a place where all the players excited about this new take on the DBD universe can gather and be active participants in the development of the project. As an insider, you'll not only get exclusive information, but also in-game rewards and even the chance to join our closed playtests and give us your feedback. Join us to help shape an experience you'd like to play and make Project T the best that it can be. See you soon.
The casting of Frank Stone.
Cedar Hills is not exactly a noted hotbed of criminal activity.
What is that?
That's not entirely true.
Dead by Daylight.
There was that whole serial killer thing. Why do you hate Cedar Hills so much? Used to be like town mascot.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present The Mill.
You spend enough time in my line of work, you realize every place has got its demons.
Think that belongs to the boy you're looking for?
You can't shoot a movie in here. This is a condemned steel mill, Mr. Rivera. I suggest you immediately vacate the premises. And you do not, under any circumstances, set 1 foot back here in the Cedar Steel Mill. Ever.
Such a joy
This
to
game
see
looks
young
great, to be
people
honest.
so passionate about the arts. Everything's all right.
Oh.
Either of you heard of Murder Mill? No! There was a whole string of disappearances. Kidnappings, really. Murders. So what was this guy's name?
I don't think the police ever found this place.
Oh my god.
Whoever did this might still be here. We can't stay, okay? We gotta go.
Didn't even look like Jill for a second. Whoa, that was the Huntress's mask. The hell? Why is
When you
that
make
in there?
dangerous cinnamon, you walk a dangerous line.
Oh my god, that was such a cool trailer.
Right? Some chills there.
Did I see
Frank
a hunting
Stone.
mask?
Bringing
Yeah.
it. Bringing it. Murder Mill? Does that
Murder
seems
Mill?
familiar? Fans might know that one. Super cool. It's so cool to see the way that the DBD universe is expanding.
Oh, yeah.
And, I want to mention Project T. You saw a mention of the Insider program, so that's our team is there waiting for you on Discord. So you can join the Insider program to get up-to-date information on Project T and get involved in it and be part of the game's development. It's really the idea there is we're making the game with the community. So get in on the ground floor now.
Yes. With Project T, like Eric said, we are taking this idea to a whole new level with making the game with you instead of just making it by ourselves. So if you love Dead by Daylight and you want to help with this new session-based multiplayer PvE game and bring it to life, sign up for the Insider program so that you can be in the know and get next steps. You also want to make sure you wishlist it on Steam because that really helps us.
Yes. And so Project T is quite a ways off because, like I said, we actually want to make it with our players. But the casting of Frank Stone is right on the horizon. So super massive, as hopefully folks know in the chat, they're just an amazing developer of single-player narrative horror games. And now we're bringing Dead by Daylight into that genre. And it's just so cool to finally be there. And it looks super terrifying. It looks super crisp and polished and awesome. I can't wait. So as you mentioned, wish lists do help a lot. So if you would do us a kindness, kindly give us a wish list. We would greatly appreciated.
Yes, and speaking of Dead by Daylight, the PTB, I know a lot of you are itching to get into that. That will be at 1 p.m. as a
1
reminder
p.m.,
today
okay.
instead of 12 p.m. So be
So it's
ready
12
to
p.m. It's
download that
12:20
so you
already.
can go ahead and hop in and test out the new chapter.
I can't wait to see people's reactions to all the things that are.
Oh,
in this
yeah.
chapter.
I cannot wait, especially for the locker one. I'm so excited for that one. But as we said, this is, we're getting pretty close to our live segment where it's going to be the live Q&A. So we'll have Justin, different Justin from Eric's Justin, come out to talk about this year's Twisted Masquerade in-game anniversary event.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That's funny. I don't know how to feel about Project T, to be honest.
Back again. This time I'm joined by Justin Banks, our senior product manager. Justin, how are you?
I'm doing great. Happy to be back.
Yes, welcome back to the anniversary show. And what would an anniversary be without the Twisted Masquerade, right? So the Twisted Masquerade is back. It happens every year during our anniversary in-game, and Justin's here to talk about it. So what have you cooked up this year?
So this year we got some amazing stuff. Honestly, I think it's our best anniversary event yet. But before we get to it, we have what we call Before the Masquerade. So that is going to be something that actually starts right after this stream. So for everyone who's watching, once this is over, go play. And we've got lots of really cool stuff as a big thank you to all of the players. It's really stuff from all of DBD's history, and it includes a lot of presents.
I love presents. I know you love presents. Our community probably loves presents too.
I think
Details?
So the details about said presents. We've got lots of login rewards, so lots of currencies for players to earn just by logging in whichever day throughout all of this. We've also got 2 recolored outfits, one for Meg and one for the Huntress, that players can earn through each week. So each week you'll be able to earn a different piece of this, so if you log in just once each of these initial 3 weeks, you'll get the full outfits, which I think is a really cool way to get your hands on some cool outfits.
I'll take anything for the Huntress.
Each of these initial 3 weeks is going to focus on a different period of DBD's history, so a different collection of years. What that means is that we're going to have map boosts and outfit sales of character outfits that were released during those years. So we really want to take you through this history with us. We want to celebrate the history of DBD.
That's really cool.
Then the cool stuff that I think everyone's really going to dig is we have some currency boosts, a different one for each week during Before the Masquerade. So for the first week, we have a blood feast. So 3 times the blood points. During week 2, we are going to have 3 times the rift fragments. So if you want to progress towards the rift, this is a very good chance to do it. Then during week 3, we've got 3 times the XP.
Oh, no way. It's the Apex Earth Sign skin for Huntress.
This is a really good chance.
The red Mother Bear sweater. I never got it.
And then after D&D releases, the last week and a half we'll be doing double XP and double blood points, right?
Oh, we're doubling down, yeah.
So everyone can play the new chapter. They can get hyped for the Masquerade. They can nab some of the older anniversary charms as well. Is that true?
Exactly. So we want to give people a chance who haven't earned them during previous years, to celebrate the build-up to the event itself by earning, like some really cool Masquerade crows or things like that.
Awesome. Okay, so what about the event itself?
So the event itself, now that we've tackled Before the Masquerade, the big new thing that is coming for this year's Twisted Masquerade is the reveal of the host of the Masquerade, Trix
the Mad Designer.
herself. So players might have seen her hinted at during previous anniversary events or during in outfit descriptions, referenced as the Mad Designer or Zizzletrix. So she's finally making her appearance. And throughout all of the event, we want to make it very clear, this is her party. She's everywhere. She's the entity's biggest fan, celebrating, holding this party in its honor. And she's not a playable character, so we want to make that very clear.
Gotcha.
She is there pushing everybody to engage and celebrate.
I love that. So does this mean we're going to see a lot more of her in the Twisted Masquerade?
Absolutely. So we have a lot of the UI that is themed. You might have seen some last year, so we've done a lot of updating for that. We've got Father Campbell's chapel coming back with the whole party taking place inside. Some updated content in there to show that the party is progressing or dying slightly. Might find some corpses. Then in addition to all of that stuff really permeating the game, we've got the lobby, the loading screens. She's going to appear in trials. You will hear her laughing at you or cheering you on around the exit gates.
Wow.
There's
Damn,
really
she looks
voice
sick.
lines that's going to appear everywhere, really accentuating the gameplay. It's going to be amazing. Like we loved hearing all of the voice lines that we have had recorded for this. With all that stuff, like we've got a lot of really cool gameplay that I'm going to talk about in just a second. But one thing I wanted to mention is that all of our event gameplay now is going to take place within a separate event queue.
Right.
So if you
okay.
want some of the normal DBD, like in the core mode, you can have that. But if you want the event stuff, go over to the really cool event queue and take part of Trix's, Twisted Masquerade. And I have to say as well, if you go to the core mode, it's still going to have a lot of the decorations, so you get the vibe with the core experience.
And that's a really good quality of life improvement over last year, right? Like giving players that option to choose. If they want to just do classic Dead by Daylight, they can, with some extra flair on it, or they can choose the event queue. That's a nice improvement. So you mentioned it. So what are some of the gameplay changes that are coming with Trix?
So Trix is bringing what we call her bag of tricks to the party. She wants to spice things up. She wants everyone to have a lot of fun. So what we've got is that as a match progresses, one of a series of abilities, or sorry, one of a tricks, is going to be played on our players. And these are going to be things like giving everybody haste, giving people undetectable, spawning anniversary special chests or totems, some really cool stuff that's going to spice it up. And this is going to happen whenever 2 points are accumulated during a match. So at first I'd say one tricks actually takes place at the match start. Following that, whenever 2 points are accumulated from doing a gen, first hook, things like that, which each gives 1 point, that is then going to trigger another tricks to maximum of 5 during a match. So we want to really keep things interesting. And when a tricks is actually activated, you're going to see Trix herself appear alongside or take the spot of one of the dancing marionettes. She's going to even deliver a line that hints at what has been played. So if you're not paying attention, she's going to give you this really cool audio cue.
That's awesome. And so in addition to all of that, I think we're also doing some sort of update for the invitation mechanic.
Yeah, absolutely. So the invitations last year, we had players run around, gather those, and you could either spend it to use an ability while inside a chase, or escape with it to help you earn a mask. This year, there's no need to escape with it to earn a mask. That's a different thing.
Okay.
And we've even added outside of chase abilities to the invitation. So if you're someone who doesn't necessarily want to always be chased by a killer or wants to have a more diverse use for it, we've added that. So survivors can now go into quiet mode, so making a lot less noise, and can even do things like quickly enter a locker without alerting the killer. It's super useful to get out of that chase right away.
That's fantastic.
Or if they're nearby and you don't want to alert them. For killers, they can now use an invitation to immediately send a downed survivor to a nearby hook.
Ah.
And as I can say from playtests, it's really fun.
I think the community is going to love that. Can't wait for them to play, but also I think there's challenges we've added so you can earn masks, right?
Yeah, exactly. So this year, earning all of the masks is going to be related to engaging with event challenges and earning event currency. So all of them are going to be earned like this. That's going to be how you earn
like
most
the
of the
trinkets.
rewards. And past masks and outfits that were earnable or in the store last year are also coming back. So if someone was not able to get those during previous years, those are all now going to be available inside the store for the duration of the event. And I have to say that we have also a licensed guest showing a mask this year, a Mr. Detective Tap.
Amazing.
Tap
Amazing.
is getting a mask.
That's so cool.
Look at those masks. Those are fantastic.
There they are. Heck yes. Fantastic. Good Lord. So it wouldn't be a party without lots of rewards. What can you tell us about the event tome?
So we've got a few staples that are coming back that we've done and seen huge success with in the past for the event tome. One is the community challenges. So we know people love to play together towards earning things, so we've got a lot of those. So if people engage with the event, work towards those targets, hit their own milestones, I think they're going to earn some really pretty cool stuff. Also in the event tome is some really interesting lore about the observer discovering Trix's world. So if you want to know a little bit more about her, play those challenges, earn that lore. Then we've got some really cool stuff. I have to say the Twisted Masquerade is one of our favorite collections to work on every single year. As soon as the art team's concepts hit the table, or I guess the monitor screen these days, we're like enamored with them. Like, we love working on this collection. So this year, we've got 2 new 100% earnable outfits that you can earn through the event. We have one for Bill Overbeck, another licensed guest making his
Really?
appearance in the Masquerade, and one for the
Oh, the
Unknown, who is
Damn, Bill
maybe
looks
trying to blend in
clean.
a little bit at the party.
Successfully.
In addition to all that really cool stuff, we've got some Tricks-themed charms and player cards that people can earn.
I wish
Now,
they did more than
obviously
just
with
2
Cap's
every
mask
year.
making an appearance as a reward.
I want one for the
there's someone who
Huntress.
accompanies him. So if people check out the in-game store during the Twisted Masquerade, they'll be able to find a really cool event-themed outfit for the pig.
Yeah,
Now,
there
we
it
are
is.
Huge fans of this. I mean,
wow.
it's got so many
Dude, that
touches from the
looks
Saw
sick.
franchise in there. I think it's amazing.
Pig fans were on the edge of their seats hoping you'd say that.
Wow. Where's the
Amazing.
Huntress?
So we've covered
I
a
want a
lot. Are there any
Huntress
last
masquerade outfit.
presents for
There.
the players that we haven't mentioned?
Dude, Bill.
There's a lot already. But we
and
got more.
Pig look great.
So the same as previous years, we're giving out lots of daily
And even
rewards to
Unknown.
players. So there's going to be lots of currencies, like more blood points, more rift fragments, more iridescent shards. We're going to have a huge login calendar throughout the entire event. People are going to be earning stuff no matter what they do. And for the first time, that no matter when the player logs in, we're going to give them enough event currency to get a single reward from the event.
Nice.
So as soon as
Oh,
you
so
log in,
just
we
for
want to
logging
get you
in? Okay,
started
that's cool.
and start enjoying the party.
I love that. Players are going to love that. Thank you, Justin, for your time and all that detail. So much detail. I hope people are psyched. Just as a note, the event in-game starts June 13th,
Okay.
but the Before the Masquerade event actually starts now, right after this show. Today.
Yes,
And there's
the
one
red
last
sweater
thing that
Huntress.
we've not mentioned. It's all part of this wrapper of celebration, and it actually ties back to Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, does it?
Yes. So very, very excited to say that we will be putting some Dungeons and Dragons Dead by Daylight dice. That's a lot of D's.
A lot.
Up for sale in the merch store. You can pre-order it right now. It's not available. You can't get it right away, but you can
Right.
get your pre-order in right away. And in fact, if you do the pre-order in the next 48 hours, you get a discount.
Oh, that's
Super
cool.
psyched about this. There's tons of Dungeons and Dragons fans within the office. I'm sure there are in the community as well. So why not put them together with a cool new set of dice?
We're gonna be looking at the
and
perks too once
that
this is done.
all we
They
have.
never went over the
Unfortunately,
perks.
Justin, you're done. Thank you for your time.
I was honestly always happy to be here.
So we're gonna toss it
Dude,
now
I wanted
to
an
Dork
outfit for
our
the a
live
masquerade outfit
Q&A
for the
and
Huntress.
Bring it home.
No.
Take it away, Dork.
That pig one and Bill one look great though. Too bad pig. I just don't. She's all right, but she's not like, great.
All right, well, I've been like teleporting all around today. Now I'm over here. So we've covered so much content today. We've been talking about
Yeah, this has been
gameplay
going on, what,
updates
2
to Dead by
hours?
Daylight, the 2v8 mode, the new titles, the Dungeons and Dragons chapter, and obviously with
2v8 's
all of
gonna
this
be
content
insane.
comes loads of questions, which we will be taking the time to answer for you. I say we because it's me, Dave Richard, and Justin Brown. So let's go ahead and get started. So for Dave, question 1. In the Dungeons & Dragons segment, you mentioned 2 bards and 1. What does that mean? Are we getting 2 unique survivors?
No. So there is 1 survivor, same perks.
Just male and
but there is
female elf, I guess.
different customization system around this character. So it's similar to what we've done
Check
with
out
the
the
Legion. So instead of
perks.
having like normal head, torso, legs parts, for the bard we have head and torso in one piece, the legs in another piece, and the accessories. And so changing the head torso piece, you can modify which character you want to be.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so question 2. How big of an impact will the Project T Insider program actually have on the finished game? I'll actually go ahead and take this one.
I don't know.
We really want this project to meet player
It seems
expectations
cool,
at launch.
but
So
I was
we
just
wanna
really
make an
hoping for
open dev
something
route,
that's more
and
like
this will allow us to proactively check
focused
in
on
with
the
you,
Dead by
our
Daylight
community,
characters we
and
got.
fine-tune the game as we go. We'll be actioning
Casting
insider
of Frank Stone
feedback
looks dope, though.
the whole time we're building the game, as your input and your insight will be highly considered throughout the entire process. So thank you. Question 3 for Dave: Will we see any existing Dead by Daylight characters in the casting of Frank Stone?
Ooh, well, I don't want to spoil anything. I can say that the game features a new cast of character. They're original, It's an all-new story, but there are a ton of little things here and there to discover linking to Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, it's just references, not going to be actual
thank you. Now
appearances.
you got a little treat. All right, our next question, question 4 for Justin. In 2v8, you said that there will be classes for survivors, but not exactly for killers. What does this mean, and will more killers be added in the future?
All right, I'll start with the easy one. Yes, of course, there will be new killers added. Each iteration we do after this first one, we strive to add a few more killers as we move forward. As far as classes go, it's something that we're still really waiting for. There's a possibility we do something like a class system, but we're going to wait until we get this iteration into your hands and work with your feedback and see where we take this mode.
All right, thank you, Justin. Question 5. What is the difference between a game mode and a modifier for Justin?
Okay, it's just like what Matt said. A modifier is really something that takes a little piece of a standard trial and sort of adjusts it, like a darkness effect, maybe changing how fast or how many generators there are to do, or random perks. A mode is something that's going to fundamentally change the way the game's played, something really big and all-encompassing, something like 2v8.
All right, thank you. Again, Justin, I got a question for you. Question 6. Can I duo killer with my friends in 2v8?
Absolutely. You can queue up with
Oh,
your friend.
dude, duoing killers.
Get on Discord and talk to them and play killer together.
Okay, so I'm super excited for that. That's going to be amazing. All right, our next question. Can we play 2 of the same killers in 2v8, Justin?
No. The easy answer is no, you won't be able to play 2 of the same. You'll be able to mix and match between the 5, but 2 of the same killer will not be available.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Can you imagine hearing both chainsaws revving? Like, oh gosh, overload. All right. Question 8. I didn't get my blood points from grade reset yesterday. Will I get them back? I'll go ahead and answer this one. Yes, we're working on refunding the missing blood points to players, and you should receive them within the next few days. Really sorry about that. Question 9. Can achievements and trophies be earned in the 2v8 mode when it releases, Justin?
The simple answer is yes. There are no specific 2v8 achievements or trophies, but if you're making progress towards one that already exists, like how many generators you have to repair, progress is still made towards those trophies.
All right, thank you. Question 10. Are there plans to keep 2v8 permanent after some iterations, Justin?
So this is something we're still working out. But I can tell you for sure in year 9, it will not be permanent at any point. It's going to be an ongoing discussion. It's going to depend sort of the engagement level, the feedback we get from you, and when we feel the mode is fully ready before we continue those conversations.
Mm-hmm. So when the mode is active, make sure you are playing it, okay? Do this for us. So other than that, what is What the Fog couch co-op or online co-op only? I'll answer this one as well. What the Fog is online co-op only, available as soon as we find a fix for the website. Really sorry about that, but thank you so much for trying to claim the game right now. All right, question 12 for you, Dave. Is Matt Mercer voicing Vecna?
Good catch. He is. We're super excited.
Oh, hey, that's Matt Mercer. That's the dude who did
in the trailer.
McCree from Overwatch. And a bunch of other people,
especially
but I'm just not
having
very
one
familiar.
of the kings of Dungeons and
Matt
Dragons
Mercer's got a really
coming
great
and
voice.
voicing Vecna. What a treat.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised they
but
picked
we
that
don't
up.
have any other questions. Thank you all so much for submitting your questions, no matter where you are watching from. And thank you so much, Dave and Justin. Regarding cross progression, just going to fill this in really quickly. We also want to reiterate that we can't share specific plans just yet, as we are still finalizing the last details, but rest assured that as soon as we are clear to do
Licensed
so,
killers
we
aren't
will,
gonna
and we plan to also
transfer.
push out a public FAQ.
Trust me.
So once the FAQ is posted, we'll announce
'Cause
it
the
across
companies
all
want
of our
their
channels
money.
for your full awareness. Once again, a big thanks to everyone who submitted questions, and we hope these answers were helpful, and we'll be talking more about this stuff in the next coming months. As a last gift for our players, if you're already signed up for the Dead by Daylight newsletter, you'll receive 250k blood points. And if you're not, you can still register until May 15th to get that sweet, sweet reward. And another big thanks once again to Justin and Dave for sticking around to answer all of these amazing questions. And since this is almost the end of our show, we don't want to forget that the PTB goes live in 22 minutes. So now we're going to have Eric and Matt here on the couch one more time to wrap up the show with one final surprise.
Let's see it. The casting of Frank Stone. Wow, your night's gonna be crazy, dude. I'm super excited to see the 2v8. I can finally play killer
All
with
right,
the boys.
This is it. This is the end. You've made it to the end of the show. It's been a great show. It's been a long show, and we thank you for sticking with us. We had so much to tell you about, so we had to do it all. But thank you so much. And look who's here to join me on the couch over there, Mr. Matt Cote.
What up, Matt?
Welcome.
Thank
How
you
you
so
doing?
very much.
Well, nice of you to make it at the end.
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Eventually got here.
yeah. Well, I was a little late. Had some surprises to
True.
work on. It's always something.
That's true. But I think all the surprises are wrapped up for now. Thank you again. Hopefully you'll join us on one of our upcoming streams. We're going to keep these rolling. Maybe you'll join us on one of our upcoming streams.
I'd be delighted.
Be fantastic. And that's it. Thanks, everybody. Have a wonderful... yes?
I just want to say before we leave, so the people who have been with us until the very, very end, we have one last surprise for you. We like to close the show with a surprise. It's a bit of a tradition nowadays. So this summer, we are going to be welcoming yet another legendary set of characters.
Oh, Castlevania, Castlevania.
Dumb and Dumber?
Dumb and Dumber. That would be
Featuring
fun.
featured in over 30 games, an animated series, an absolutely unforgettable soundtrack, and much, much more. We hope you are as excited as we are to welcome into the fog this classic franchise.
Yep. What? Yep. Wow. Yeah, wow, that's sick, dude. August 6th. Wow, that looks dope. All right, well, that's it. Man, that was crazy, dude. Year 9 is, or I guess this is the 8th going into the 9. Because we just got out of the 7th. Dude, it's going to be an insane year. Absolutely insane. 2v8? I did not think 2v8 was going to be here this early, in all honesty. I really didn't think it was going to be here that early. I thought that would be something like a year out. I'm really hoping for a switch perspectives too, a third-person killer and a first-person survivor. That'll be dope. I'm kind of sad that I was really hoping for a Huntress Masquerade outfit. They did Pig, they did Bill, and they did the Unknown. But no Sable Ward is kind of interesting. I don't know. I wish they did more. Well, I was gonna say I wish they did more than 2 people, because that's what they did last year. They did Ghostface, right? And then did they do a Survivor? I think it might have been just Ghostface. He had the gold mask and the black and gold robes, and the Ace of Spades floating behind him, which were sick. And yeah, I mean, they did what, 4 now? No, 3. Bill, Pig, and the Unknown, which is dope. Man. And then I'm glad they brought back the Mother Bear recolor skin for Huntress. I was just actually complaining about that on the forums like, I don't know, a month ago. Let's go check out the new perks. They never went over the new perks. Right here. Latest news. Okay, we gotta type in our stuff. 24/05/1999. I'm really, I want to see what these perks. Come on. Hopefully there's something good for Huntress. That's basically what I go over every time. I'm like, oh wait, no, that's not it. Where's it at? It was right here on my Mac, right? Am I tripping? I'm not gonna have to go back. Where they at? Why is it? It was right here. I'm pretty sure. Huh? Because it's right over here on my Mac. Yeah. Why is it not showing up on the PC? That's weird. Yeah, it's literally right there. What the heck? What's going on? Let me refresh. Maybe. Okay, well, I guess we'll just have to look at it on the Mac. I know nobody's going to be able to see this, but I'll just read it out loud. Oh man, I can't even edit this in post, can I? Damn, because this is live. I gotta try and find it. Before the masquerade. This isn't it. What the heck? Why is it not showing up on this thing? Okay, well, I guess I'll just end the live here. Yeah. Alright, well, that was it. I guess we'll do a separate video about the perks. That was super dope. I'm super excited for the 2v8, stuff like that. And, yeah. Really looking forward to this next year Dead by Daylight. It's kind of dope. But, yeah, that does it for this one. And I'll see you guys in the next one.